Hey, and welcome to the Full Weight of Joy podcast, the podcast for women who are done stressing about the weight of the world, of expectations and settling for status quo, and ready to step into the full weight of joy. Joy in the journey, whether up or down, joy through the life's challenges, and joy in loving your life right where you are, even though sometimes we feel like chucking it all and moving to Bali. It's for women who are ready to step into who God called them to be. He chose you to be in this world. He created you for a specific purpose. God called us to be the light on a hill, and by embracing who you are and whose you are, you can stand on that hill and shine. The best part, when you're standing next to another woman who's also on the journey, the world gets brighter. My name is Tammy. I am your host and a master certified life coach and a trained therapist. For over a decade, I've been helping women do just that. Step into who they're called to be and shine. Are you ready, friend, to start your journey? Let's do this. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Tammy, and I help determined Christian women design and launch a purpose-centered, purpose-aligned, purpose-driven life and business. And I wanted to come on here today, and I want to, today is kind of a little kick in the pants. This is what I needed, and so I'm assuming that you do as well, because we're kind of alike, right? And we all get to this point where we want to do something, but we just don't know what. And so we wait. And one of the things that I have noticed about myself is I like to have information. I joke that education is my favorite form of procrastination. And honestly, it used to be. Now I still educate. I still learn. I still love reading and discovering and growing, but I'm very intentional about how I do it because I realize that life is short. Time is short. Time's our most precious resource, right? I look at my kids that are they're now a freshman and a junior. Like I have both my kids are in high school now. And I think back of when I was in high school and I'm like, man, how quick time goes and how independent I was and how my mom would reach out to and how we related to each other and how we would do little things together. And I was like, oh, I want to do these with my kids. And then it's the same thing that I would tell them. It's like, well, I'm going out with my friends or, oh, I'm doing this. And so as a mom now, I'm like, okay, time is so important. And one of the things that I want them to know is I want them to see what's possible. At this point in the game, I can't really talk to them. I will talk to my son in 2 minutes. He's like, oh, you're turning this into a lecture. I'm like, well, no, I'm just explaining to you how the world works. One day you'll like to know this. And he's like, oh, fine. They stop listening, but they're still watching. And so one of the things that I have been intentionally doing is taking action on things, whether I know or have all of the information or not. And so this is your kick in the pants that it's time to stop waiting for more information. Information equals safety. Remember I talked about how success and failure are not opposites. Like in our brain, it is safety. Safety keeps us where we are. It keeps us stuck. It keeps us overwhelmed, anxious. It keeps us longing for more. Safety keeps us where we are, and it keeps us in a place that is not where we're meant to be. It's not where we're growing. It is a place where we're fixed. We are stuck. We don't like that innately. Many of us, if you are ambitious or driven, or you have these desires, these dreams, goals, visions, whatever you want to call them, like you don't feel comfortable being stuck. And that's where when we get this idea that we need more information, that's when this feeling of stuck comes in. That's when the safety takes over and is like, okay, we'll just wait until we learn all about it, what like the possible worst case scenarios, all the options, all of the possibilities, all of the possible outcomes, all of the steps. We'll just wait till our yellow brick road is like rolled out for us, and then we'll go. Well, friends, application is where there's success. And I want you to take the word success and define it for yourself. I know we've talked many times about the definition of success and how it's important that words like this, we don't just take the Merriam Dictionary. that we actually look at what is success for us? What is growth? And really, what is joy and fulfillment and impact? And for me, success is, well, it's really, well, I don't have my actual definition of success in front of me because this is off the top of my head, but really success is being obedient and trying and just going for it. Is I want to make an impact. I want to serve others. I want to serve God. I want to be my authentic self. That's success to me. Success is doing it whether I know it or not. Success is application, is taking action. It doesn't matter if I fall. I mean, it does hurt. It does skin my knees. It does bruise my ego. I have to collect myself. Sometimes I have to give myself a pep talk. Okay. A lot of times I give myself a pep talk, but I know that I would much rather take action and fall than stay where I am. And I don't want that for my kids either. I want them to see me take steps, take action, make mistakes. I want them to see that it's possible and then you can still keep going, that it's not permanent unless you stay down. And the other thing that I really was studying recently is like, what does God say about action, about works? Because we know we're not saved through works. Like that's how we're saved, through faith. And the Bible talks about faith without works doesn't matter. Like it's not good, right? It's, in James 2:14-17 is what good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed or lacking food, and go in peace and be warmed and filled without giving them what they need for their body, what good is that? So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Information by itself is dead. What good is it if you know and you have the ability to solve a problem and yet you don't take action to do it? It's dead. So and then in 1 John 3:18, it says, little children, let us not love the word or talk, but in deed and in truth. So it's not so much like, sure, we can talk about it, but it's the in deed, in action that it matters. That's where we put it into action, put it into show. This is where we put our money where our mouth is. This is where we go beyond and we really show the faith that we hold is by taking those steps. In James 1:23-25 says, if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks intently at his natural face in a mirror, for he looks at himself and goes away and once forgets what he was like. But if the one who looks into the perfect law, the perfect liberty, and preserves, not being no hearer who forgets, but a doer who acts, he will be blessed in his doing. It doesn't say you need to do the right thing. It doesn't say do the perfect thing, go and do the exact thing you're supposed to do. It says go and do. God talks about he will direct our steps. He will direct our path. And if we don't take action, what is the purpose? What is the goal? What's the point? If we just have information. And so I want to encourage you to go beyond the information, go beyond the safety, and go for the success of doing, of the obedience, just see what's possible when you are willing to get uncomfortable and try. Be a doer of the word. Be a goer, and in deed and in truth. It's important that we talk about why we do things. It's important that you know that the reason why I do this is not just to come on here and become famous. Not my intention. Most likely not going to happen. Not even what I really want. My goal is I want to serve God. And this is the calling he's put on my heart. I want to serve his people. I want them to be able to shine their light and to see how valuable that he made them. He made you. I want you to see your worth, not through the eyes of men who will put you down, hold you back, and will stop you and speak to you out of fears that they hold, not out of the dream that God has put inside of you or the gifts that God has called you and who's given to you. And so my purpose is to help you design and launch a purpose-driven life and business. But I do it because God's called me to do it. I do it because this is my action that I can take because I have all this information that he gave me, the highlights that he has pointed out and the things that I studied and things that I remembered from different books that I've read. And when I started looking at what he was highlighting to me, and when I started getting clear on what my purpose is, it was clear that this was that was the road to go on. What is your road? What is your purpose? What are your actions, your deeds? What are your works that he's put inside of your heart? What does it look like? Have you actually stopped to ask yourself? Because he doesn't say, I've given some of you good purposes. I've given some of you dreams and goals. No, he says everything we do can be used for good. That he's directed our path and given us a future of hope and joy. And he's given us a future that is full. Do you want that full future, or do you want to stay in the information and the gathering and the fears of what's possible and longing to see other people go and try and seeing what they are capable of? How many times has God put something on your heart and then you see someone else doing it and you kind of get discouraged? I'm like, well, and because I know for me, that happened a lot. And I turned that around. I had a coach talk to me about, well, if someone else is doing it, that means it's needed. And I was like, okay, so there's room for you. It's not too late. It's not too late until you decide that it is. Until you decide. And honestly, it's not too late until you've breathed your last breath. Do you want to discover your purpose? Do you want to discover what you were called to do? Then start acting. Take the information you have. You just need a little bit and take that next step. And if you want clarity on what that next step is, DM me. Let's talk, because this is something that I love doing, is discovering and pulling away all of the layers of armor and all of the weight of the world and realizing that the weight of joy is right there waiting for you. But it's really weight of the world is too heavy to carry on your own. So what's the next step? What is this God calling that you have? What is the works that he has created for you? What is this life that he directed and he planned for even before you were born? What things have you been through that can be used for good? What does that even mean? Have you ever thought about that? Like, what does it mean to be used for good? This is what I do. This is what we do together. This is what I get so excited about, because when I see that you have a God purpose, and you do, when you're ready to start figuring out what it is and start acting on it and realizing that we don't need as much information or as many resources, or we don't need as much time as we think, that God will use what we give him and he multiplies it. He does. We don't have to do that part, but we have to take our faith and put it into action. We have to love in deed and in truth as well as our words. And so with this is step out of the safety and step into the success, into the joy, into the impact, into the fulfillment. And when you're ready to do that, it doesn't matter how much information or what you know of it. If you have this feeling inside of you, DM me and let's talk about what's possible. So in July, I am starting a small group for women that we're going to work together, and we're going to start shedding this layer of armor that protect ourselves, these expectations, the weight of the world. And we're going to start to look at, like, what is your purpose, your calling, your gifts, your strengths? And what is your next step? What is your works? How do you make an impact? How can you walk in obedience to God? And if it looks like building a business, then I will show you how to do that too. over the last 5 years, that's what I've been doing, is slowly building my business to the point where it's like it dawned on me that this is what it's always was meant to be. I get to share and I get to guide women in creating their purposes, creating their freedom, what God has planned for them. The latter is better than the former. The everything is used for good. Do you want to know what that means for you? What good can come out of what you have been through? What good through what you have learned, or what has God highlighted to you? How the circumstances, the stories and the trials that you've been through your whole life, how is that meant to serve others? I would love to walk on that journey with you. If you're interested, just DM me on Instagram and let's talk. It's not if you contact me, it's not you have to do it. But if you're interested in figuring out what it looks like, let's chat. Get on a call with me for 20 minutes and let's see what's possible for you. It's so many times we get these ideas and we talk to our friends about it who are like, yeah, you're good at this and you could do this. And they get so excited. And there's times that there's well, something doesn't feel right. There's something more. When you start to shed all of what other people are saying and really listen to what God's saying, it becomes a lot easier. It becomes a lot brighter and it becomes a lot more manageable. Again, you don't have to come up with the time, the resources, excuse me, all of the how. God will do that for you. We get to figure out what the deeds look like, what the works look like, what the used for good, what it looks like. God will walk us through how to do it. And I guarantee that He's already put within you the ways through it, the ways, the ability, the capability, and those skills that you need, those talents that you need, those strengths that you need to carry it through. He's already put it within you. So if you're ready to explore that, DM me on Instagram at Tammy Marie Coaching, TamiMarieCoaching. I did spell that right. And let's chat. All right. With that, I hope you have a wonderful week. Choose joy until joy chooses you. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.